Hey you, thank you so much for clicking on this video. So previously I have mentioned that I have been working for 7 years now, and in this video I wanted to share my experience with how my professional journey has been so far. So this video is going to be a life story on how my IT career has been so far, how those 7 years have been for me, how I have grown throughout those years, how I have changed throughout the years. I'm going to cover all of that in this video. Also, for the sake of privacy, I will not be disclosing the companies that I have worked with or the salary packages that I have landed on, but I would be telling you about the salary ranges so that if you want to compare the current market value and stuff like that, it's helpful for you. It's informational that way without it being an invasion to my privacy. To introduce you to my journey, I have been working in IT for more than 7 years now, and in those 7 years I have not had any breaks. I haven't had any business ideas. I didn't take any bold steps to step out of my IT career and then start something of my own. I haven't had those ideas. So far it has been just plain IT that I have been working in, and I know that this doesn't seem really interesting, like just your average person. I have been working a 9 to 5 job for more than 7 years. That's how it seems like from the outside. It seems as if it has not been so interesting. It's just plain IT, no risks involved. But when I look back at my journey, trust me, it has been a roller coaster ride growing in this field. Okay, so I graduated with a BTech, that is a Bachelor's of Technology degree, back in 2017. And in 2017 itself, I got selected in campus placement by my university. Nothing special there, nothing too bizarre. I didn't have to hunt for jobs after graduating, which is really fortunate for me because I'm hearing that now in 2025 it has become a lot tougher to land jobs. So I'm grateful that I got campus placement, and no matter the stream that you choose for your bachelor's degree, that is BTech, back then it didn't used to matter whether you are a computer science student or whether you're a mechanical student or if you're a biotechnology student. As long as you had a bachelor's of technology degree, that is a BTech degree, you could enter into IT. That was how it was back then, and I'm pretty sure that the trend hasn't really changed much. But yeah, back then it used to be like that. No matter what you studied in the 4 years of your university, it didn't really used to matter. You somehow ended up in IT. So just like almost every other student, I landed an IT job and I started working with that company. It was a big company, it still is. And back then I was not a very goal-oriented person because I was very young and I didn't know what I wanted to pursue really. I was more of a go with the flow kind of person, that whatever was coming my way, I was accepting it and I was just running along with it. So when I got into IT, I wasn't even sure if I wanted to stay in IT. So I got hired in a role that was of server and workstation administration. Pretty simple role where you had to manage the antivirus agents on the client's desktops and servers and stuff like that. Having said that, it was not a coding based role. I didn't have to code anything. I didn't even pursue my BTech from the computer science stream. So thank God they didn't put me in a role which required coding, because I would have really sucked at it. I had no idea about how things go in IT. I was just learning as I was doing my job. It was a huge shift for me getting into a stream of work which was really new, which I hadn't really studied about in my college. But I was young, I was very adaptive and a quick learner. So I learned real quick about these little things. I worked into this administration role in IT for about 9 months or so, and then fate started doing its thing. So my work required a lot of emailing to clients and resolving issues via emails. Because of my emails and my email writing style, my managers started noticing me. I was actually very good at writing emails. And so a tip for you all, especially if you are in IT, develop your email communication especially when you're looping in your managers or their managers, it really makes a difference. Your emails and the way you're writing and what you're writing really makes a difference. Coming back onto my career, fortunately enough, there was also an opening in the GRC domain of that same project that I was working in. For those who don't know what GRC is, GRC stands for Governance, Risk and Compliance. It is more of a management domain rather than a technical one. So GRC, in layman's terms, makes sure that your company is complying with all the laws and regulations set by the government. Your company is assessing the risks that it is facing, taking care of those risks, and also governing that the company is abiding by its own policies that it has set. So that is what GRC basically does. And fortunately enough, there was an opening in the GRC domain, and since my manager had already noticed my communication skills, he somehow suggested my name for that opening. And back then, this used to rarely happen, especially with a new hire who had been in the company for just 9 months. And let me tell you that even at this point, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do with my IT career. I was just going with the flow. Whatever was thrown my way, I was like, yeah, bring it on. So after 9 months of my career, I got into the GRC domain, and I am still here in GRC because I started to fall in love with it. And I think that if you're not a technical person, this domain, that is GRC, is one of the best domains that you can be in. It did take me time though to fall in love with GRC. It was an entire process in itself. I was learning as I was working. There was a lot to learn. There was a lot to do, especially in the project that I was hired for in my company. I kept working with my first company for about 4.5 years. And just to keep you updated on the salary package, when I started working with my first company, I had landed a package of about 3 to 4 lakhs per annum. I'm talking about INR, that is Indian rupee. And I had grown my salary package from there to 5 to 6 lakhs per annum. Yes, it was a very slow growth. Working for 4.5 years and landing from the range of 3 to 4 to the range of 5 to 6, it's not a good progression. I kind of started feeling really frustrated because I wasn't really seeing the growth, especially considering the work that I was putting in. And so, after 4.5 years, I decided to switch to another company and see if that works for me in terms of financial growth. And I was on the lookout for about 2 to 3 months. Also, it was COVID time, so everyone was working from home during that time, and there were a lot of remote options available. And after 3 months of my job search, I got selected in a company that was offering me 13 to 16 lakhs per annum in the same domain, that is GRC. And I decided to go for it. It was good growth for me, coming from 5 to 6 to 13 to 16. I think it was good enough growth. So, from 2022 onwards, I started working in my second company. Although I was getting good money, but suddenly the reality of taxes started hitting me because I had just landed on a higher tax bracket as well, along with higher compensation, and I wasn't really prepared for that part. And so yeah, once you land a higher compensation, it's all peaches and cream until you start losing your money in taxes as well. But still, it shouldn't stop you from landing higher compensations. Even though I was getting good amount of money, the role and the client that I was dealing with in my new company, it was not that great. It felt as if my growth when it comes to my skills, it had just stopped in that company. I couldn't grow my skills in that company, no matter how hard I tried. I even reported this to the management of my new company that my skills are not being utilized in a way that they should be utilized, but nobody really gave a damn, to be very honest. And so I realized that good amount of money doesn't mean that it brings you job satisfaction or it would bring you happiness. I was always frustrated with my work every day. I felt like it's a dead-end job because there was no opportunity for growth. The work that I had to do was so defined, and there were no deviations to that work that I couldn't really implement my ideas. And I had so much work experience from my previous company. I had learned so much, but there was no platform to implement in my new company. And that was leaving me frustrated. I was losing touch with my skills as well. I was losing my confidence. I was losing a certain amount of self-respect as well. I couldn't really understand the office politics as well. It was really draining to deal with all the office politics because I was dealing with all of this for the first time. I had never dealt with office politics in my previous company. Even if I had, I was too naive to know it was office politics, but now I was seeing all that happening, and it was just disheartening. It was just like, why can't I grow here? One of the worst experiences that I had in my career was in my second company, where they actually did not pay my variable pay to me, and it was all a part of office politics. I got caught up in it and I did not receive my pay. It can be really bad sometimes when you get caught up in all the office politics. I even cried in the meetings because I was feeling so disheartened. I was feeling as if I was so disrespected that they did not even pay me. And I had cried in the escalation meetings, like legit sobbed, like legit tears rolling down my eyes. It was like that. It was so bad. And so yeah, it was really rock bottom of my career. Not getting paid, crying in meetings, feeling frustrated all the time, and then dealing with all the office politics where I was made to look so bad in front of the management. This situation was literally the worst situation I had faced in my entire career, and I did not know how to deal with it. And so yeah, I worked in this second company for 2 years, and I put down my resignation after dealing with so much disrespect. In the end of 2023, I started another job hunt. I was again on the lookout. I did not want to work in that company anymore because I was already portrayed as a very bad employee. And if I had not put down my resignation, they would have fired me after a few months anyway. I'm glad that I put down my resignation and did not get the tag of being fired in my resume. Trust me, this job hunt was so difficult for me because in my second company, I had lost touch with all my skills, and now convincing other companies that I'm skilled enough to be hired was such a task. So my tip to you, especially if you're in IT career, would be that don't just chase after the money like I did, because if you land a role which is stagnant, it would only hamper your future growth, even your future financial growth. You don't want to lose touch with all the skills that you are building. This time in 2024, I also made sure that I'm not just chasing after the money. I made sure that I'm chasing after a good company. I'm chasing after a good job role, a company that makes me feel not so stressed out, And I was very picky during my interviews. One good trick that I learned on how to judge a company is how it's making you feel during interviews. I interviewed for a lot of companies and I was observing how it's really making me feel. Is the interview making me feel really stressed out and nervous? I was also observing the interviewers. I was observing their expectations of me. I was also asking them questions about their work culture, like what do they do to maintain a work-life balance. And surprisingly, a lot of companies don't really focus on work-life balance than they actually should. And so another tip that I would give you, especially if you're on the job hunt, is that don't just go after the money, go after the company culture as well. And a good way to find out how a company culture is using their interviews to gauge that. During interviews, try to find out about their company culture as much as possible. Also, try to focus on the feeling that you're getting from the interviews. Are the interviewers making you nervous? Are the interviewers pressurizing you? And so yeah, after 6 months of struggle, I finally started landing job offers. And you know how they say that only the brightest dawns come after the darkest nights. And I think that is what happened to me. I think that my fate turned in my favor after I faced that hell that I had to face in my previous company. Fortunately, this time I found a really good company to work with, and this is my current company that I'm working with. This company is a fintech company, and I am so fortunate that I landed this company and this job role, and the people that I am working with now are so supportive. I am just really grateful that I finally landed a company that is a dream company to work with. Also, about the salary range. So this company has offered me a salary package of above 25 lakhs per annum, which in my opinion is a really good package to land on, especially after 7 years of work experience and in my domain, that is GRC. I started working in this company from 2024 onwards, and trust me, it has been smooth sailing, and I love working with this company, to be very honest, because the people are so nice, the people are so supportive, the culture is so nice, the culture always focuses on work-life balance, the culture focuses for you to grow in other areas of life as well rather than just your work. The company culture is to give back to the community, to do a lot of social work as well, and all of that has just resonated so much with my personality and my life goals as well. It makes me feel that I am a part of something bigger. It has given me a purpose to help the world in any way that I can. All of this is what makes me feel excited to log into work every day. While I have been working with this company, my skill set has expanded so much. I don't feel stagnant anymore like I felt with my previous company. The initiatives that my company takes to help underprivileged people is what makes me feel that I am a part of something bigger than myself. I am a part of something very valuable to the world, and I keep participating in these initiatives where I'm out there working with NGOs to help people, volunteering and teaching kids, stuff like that. It's so much fun to do these things rather than just sit on your laptop and do your normal regular work. I think that the current company that I am with, we just fit, we just align. My company's goals and my life goals are very much in alignment with each other, and that is what makes this work. And that is what I have learned throughout my career, that if you want the dynamic between you and your company to work, you need to make sure that your life goals and your company's goals are in alignment with each other. That is what makes it work. Whatever the company is striving for, if you are striving for the same thing, it'll just be a perfect fit. You and your organization will be a perfect fit for each other, and you will not face any hiccups in your life when it comes to your career. So yeah, these are how the 7 years have been. It has been a ride from learning new things to facing such horrible politics to working with a company which makes me feel a part of something bigger than myself. It has been a roller coaster for me with its ups and downs, and I hope that whatever I shared in this video also gives you some insight on how to build your own IT careers as well. So yeah, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching if you watched till the end. For now, I plan to stick with my current company for at least 5 to 6 years and then see how it goes from there. For now, I am in a stable place in my career, and thank God for that. Once anything changes or if I learn something new when it comes to career development, I will definitely keep you posted via a video. So thank you so much for listening to this story of mine. I hope to see you soon. Till then, take care.